Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we're going to talk about printing the dioramas from Viabletoys that you may either obtain from Etsy or you may obtain them from Gumroad. Either way, it's the same thing. So they come to you and I'll show you how to get started. So I use Photoshop and Photoshop is basically industry standard for printing. Either you're printing at home or you're printing they're taking the dioramas to the print shop. So this tutorial basically focuses on printing at home, but it's got some good pointers for you to use if you take them to Staples, Office Depot, or Office Max. And I know that those three generally use Photoshop, at least they do in my area, and I hear that a lot from my customers. So let's get started. So I have Photoshop here, and when you download the diorama, you can do a couple of things. You can take them directly from your downloads location and you can just drop them in. And that's what you're going to get. And that will work just fine. I generally operate in layers where I will create an 8 by 8.5 by 11 first. But for the video, let's say you just drop them in there. So you just drop them in there and then you'd want to go to print. And this is what's going to bring up. Now this is a really good representation of what will happen if you just drop these in on their own. This is one of the 5K resolution files. So if you purchase these from Etsy or Gumroad, when you go to the downloads folder, you're going to see 2K standard or 5K resolution. The 5Ks were introduced about a month ago. This is everything that's in the downloads that was 2K. Now they're 5K, but I give you the option of using 2K or 5K. A lot of Ks there. So this is a great representation. So if you drop this in there and you go to print it, that's what it's going to look like. And obviously that's not what you want. So this is what you can do at home. And this is what you should tell the print shop too. You can ask them to create a canvas first of 8.5 by. We'll go back to that. Let's go with what we have here. Okay, so if you see it scaled at 100%, okay, that's obviously too much. So on the 5Ks, what you want to do, if you're just going to drop them in there like that, is you're going to scale to 12%. Okay. Let's go back. I completely screwed that up. Okay, start over. This is what you're going to get. So let's bypass the stuff here and go directly to the scaling. All right, you see it scaled at 100%. That's obviously way too big. So what you want to do is you want to scale it to 12%. And that's for the 5K. The 2Ks won't have this problem. Okay, that's going to give you 11 by 8.5. If you take this 5K version and you take it to Office Depot or let's say Staples, you'll have to ask them to scale it to 12%. They will know, they'll know what you're talking about. Okay, well you hope so. But you could tell them this because they print it out and it looks like what I just showed you. You're going to have to tell them that. Okay, so leave this alone. Scale to fit media. You don't want to check that. But what you want to do, and this is the most important box that you could possibly check, print selected area. So you'll see these guides up here. They need to be fully expanded out all the way. And this is for scale. All right. You might see it like that. You could even see it like that. Drag these out, print selected area. If you don't do that, or if you don't ask your print shop to check the box, print the selected area, the scale's going to be off. These are all scaled to 164, right? So if you don't check this box, when you print this off, this diorama from here to here, or from here to here, it could be as much as 1/8 to 1/4 inch off. And then it's going to look like your little figures are going to smack their noses into the top of the door. And that's not how these are designed. These are scaled really, really close. Okay. And then they would just print. So let's get out of here. And I'll show you how I do the 5Ks at home. So what I do is I create a new layer, 8.5 by 11. Okay. And then I drop the file on top of that, press enter, and then I go to print. And I come down here. It's scaled perfectly. That's how you really should do this. And you do this on the 2Ks as well. You just want to have a nice canvas to work on. Okay. And we want to print the selected area. And that's going to give you the perfect scale. And how you know, you either do this at home or you do it at the print shop, but you can ask for a proof copy. And they'll give it to you. And you have take a little plastic ruler with you or something to measure. And if this diorama from here to here isn't spot on at either 5 inches or 7 inches, and that is the only way that I make them, 5 or 7s. If that ain't almost spot on, then they didn't check that. Then they didn't check this box. Okay, and it could be off from the top to the bottom, just depending on how they printed them. These are mostly be 8 inches or 7 by 7s. If they're just not spot on, then they have to check this box here. Okay, so let's move up to the setup. All right, so it's going to ask you to choose your printer. I just use the HP SmartTank 6000, great printer. I want to make one copy. I let Photoshop manage my colors. You could let the printer. I don't, because that has never actually really worked well for me. Photoshop, I let it use that. I let it print with Adobe RGB. And Adobe RGB is most likely already built in your system. If you're using Mac or if you're using Windows, it'll be there. The other profile is sRGB 2.1. This is also probably installed on your system. They are very close and similar. Anything that I have created prior to March 15th of 2026, I have created with the sRGB 2.1 color profile. That is what's embedded in your download. Print shop will see that too, but they'll go ahead and they'll print in Adobe RGB anyway, and you kind of should too. It'd be almost spot on. Now keep in mind that I created these dioramas, and they're kind of flat in design, flat colors. And I did that so that when you because they are photo prop displays, so when you take your photos in RAW, and I hope you're shooting in RAW, it's going to give you a better way to adjust color, like hue and sat. You may not even need to. You may be absolutely perfectly satisfied with the way that your photo comes out, but some people will choose to darken the colors up, maybe brighten them or whatever. They're designed to do that. Okay. So after you decide what color profile, scroll down, check the box, print the selected area, and then you just go ahead and print them off, and it works great. Your scale will be spot on. I recommend using Photoshop for all your printing. It's just industry standard now. Well, it has been for a long time, but it's just really the best. It's kind of rotten that you got to pay $15 a month for Photoshop on the subscription platform, and that's all there is. You either pay for it yearly. The runner up to this is a software called Affinity Photo, and that's pretty good too. The printing engine in there, I've used it before, and it comes out pretty good. And some of the controls are basically going to be the same, but now that you know what scale is in print selected area, you probably fall right into it. Onboard printing, like your computers will call up onboard printing, a bunch of settings and stuff. That has never really worked for me. That's why I use Photoshop. So that's basically it. I appreciate you watching. I hope that it does help. You can message me on Instagram or from whatever platform that you purchased the diorama from. And I'll get back to you just as fast as I can and try and help. But I'm probably always going to just revert back to the video because this is all I got. This is all I know. It's what I do here. And that's going to do it for me. I appreciate you folks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I got some pretty cool videos coming up here in the next days and weeks you might find really interesting. And all right, that's it. Thank you, you folks.